I like to say what, in general, big picture about the real assets are going up everywhere right now. The prices as paper is losing value and confidence in the financial system is falling. People with money invest in real assets, okay? Housing, we said, is one real asset. A stock in a good company that actually makes things and has factories and some global presence, and not just a financial company which is virtual, but let's just say Coca-Cola. It's a real company.
Somebody with dividends.
Yeah. So a share in it's a fraction of a fraction. It's a derivative of the company. So there's some reality there, especially if they pay dividend. Okay. So that's kind of companies like S&P. Companies that make real things, those they can be considered real assets. So that's why there'll be a nice bubble in the stock market coming, probably large caps. So real estate, large cap stocks, non-financial, ex-financial are real assets. Art and collectibles like baseball cards for sure. Now taking off the industry, comics, you name it, collectibles. Pawn shop, whatever.
Even video games, everything, or
taking off
VHS tapes, records. If they're still sealed and it's like old print, first printing.
Yeah,
big money.
Wow, that's amazing. How high it's risen. And then real assets include collectibles, and there's one more thing that's considered a real asset. Real estate. No, I guess that's it. That's it. Gold and silver. That's what commodities. Okay, those are considered the real assets. Well, every real asset I see in the world right now is blowing up, and cards more than ever. Any probably is skyrocketing. So real assets are ballooning, skyrocketing, bubbling. Except there's one collectible class that I see is actually falling in price and really cheap at the moment. And I might have told you which this is, which collectible. Old books.
I was just going to say, I wonder about that.
Yeah, old books, it's obviously correlated, as sports and entertainment rise. And what I would say is less spiritually fulfilling and meaningful rise as entertainment especially is part of that ephemeral. But old books, I bet they're highly correlated. It's interesting though. Old books are going cheap, I think, for collectible Mark Twain's or whatever.
Yeah, I bet you unless it's like some really important copies, if it's just average or mid grade.
Sure.
I could see that.
They're going down. Not as many collectors. Like stamps have a much less people involved, obviously.
Stamps have died. I mean,
who collects them,
Unless they're really rare, really expensive.
Those always.
But like the
beachfront types.
Yeah, but the mid-range stuff.
Yeah. Well, books, there's not as many readers or collectors, obviously, of old books. But, one thing about old books is, like I've purchased recently, not a super expensive book, but a few $100s. You can't get it online. And there's no reprint. So it's if I want to read it, which I actually read. As soon as I started, I got the book and reading it. And then I started reading a little bit more. And then I was blown away by how interesting this 1700s, 1750 or 20, the book was written. It broke in the seams. So you give it to me for a week and it won't be worth anything. I'm so clumsy. But I read it to the end twice. Like, this is an old book that I bought recently. I haven't read it yet. I haven't had the time or focus, but it's a book written by the South, the Southern Confederacy, and the tour of the battlefields and the ruined cities, a journey through the desolated states and talks with the people.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Interesting, 1867.
Oh, so right from the time.
Yeah, right after.
Yeah.
Right after the war. And it sounds like a travel journal. It's probably, it would probably be quite different narrative than we are told about the South.
I'd like to see the comparison.
Yeah, I'm also curious what black people say in it, what they really think, not what we're told. Maybe I'll do an episode if I ever get around to reading that. Yeah, controversial.